What's up, guys? It's Looney TNT. How's it going? I'm doing fantastic. Today's video, we're going to talk about some ways that you guys can become better at the Restoration Druid, and it's going to be very important because, as you guys know, absorbs have actually been nerfed. So Restoration Druids are doing phenomenal, and we are looking amazing right now. In every group, in every heroic or mythic, you're going to want a Restoration Druid just because we are so powerful and we can contribute so much to the raid. So, we're going to talk about some tips to help you guys out. We're going to talk about some easy tips, some more advanced tips. Let's go ahead and start it out. So, the first thing I want to talk about is knowing your class. Now, what does knowing your class mean? Well, I'm talking about the changes that have happened, the combos that you guys can put together, what you need to do to heal up your tanks, everything, because a lot of stuff changed from Mist of Pandaria to Warlords of Draenei. So, first little tip, I'm going to give you guys some examples. The mushrooms. Mushroom is now like Healing Rain that a shaman has. As you guys can see, it's not on the ground forever. It's on the ground for about 25 seconds. It will continue to heal. There is no charging the mushroom for the big burst heal. That's gone. It's just like a Healing Rain. So once this goes away, and you can move it anytime. If I'm here, I can still move it over here to jump up for its 30 seconds. But you can move it around, and it's still fine. It does cost a lot of mana, though, so I don't suggest you moving it too much in the raid. But it only does last about 30 seconds, so make sure you guys have that in mind. Also, Life Bloom is a great change. It's fantastic. So as you guys can see on me, I'm going to click it here. Now it's healing me, but it's only going to stack up one time. Now you have to remember too, on the HOTS, let's go ahead and let this run out. On the HOTS, when I click my HOT, it's 14 seconds. Now, I want this to get the full duration, but I don't want it to end past 5 seconds. And here we go. I'll renew it. As you guys see, that stacks back up, so it's 19, but it doesn't stack higher than that. So that's something that you guys, that will help you out. Nourish is gone. So what we have is we have Healing Touch. Healing Touch is a low mana. It's like in the middle. It doesn't heal as high as it used to, but it doesn't heal super low like Nourish did, where it was kind of just, it was a spell that you didn't really use. Now Healing Touch is that go-to spell where you're trying to just get some single target heals going. Fantastic. Another thing that changed is your Wild Growth is now on a casting time. Something that you'll get used to. I'm sure I'll mess up a few times running around and cast it and try to jump or something weird, and not get it off. But all it is you just stand there for a few seconds, cast it. It's still the same spell. It's still amazing. It will still work for you. Genesis changed a little bit too. It's pretty much the same though, but it did change a little bit. Instead of like speeding it up, it consumes it in like 3 seconds. So, well, 2.56, 3 seconds. So when I go ahead and I go here and I hit my Genesis, so I'll go here and I'll hit my Genesis. Well, when you don't lag, because there we go. So when you don't lag, it consumes it. So I'm here. It consumes it in 3 seconds. Big burst healing. So what that is you can spread that through the raid and then hit your Genesis, and it's going to be a quick heal for everybody. It's a pretty fantastic spell. You still have your defensive cooldowns like your Iron Bark and your Iron Bark and your Bark Skin. Your Iron Bark is for the tank for the cooldown. Great cooldown. It lasts 12 seconds. It's on a minute cooldown. Great thing to use. PvP, whatever. So that's some of the changes. Talents. Know your talents. Now the biggest thing about this is we already talked about some changes, but your talents change too. So this kind of goes in between. But know your talents. Know what they do and know when to use them, and don't forget to use them. Nature's Vigil. If you have this spell and you raid the whole time and you don't use it, well, you missed out. So choose something else, do something different. Know what your talents do. What does your Tree of Life do? It enhances your what? Your regrowth, your entanglement, your wild growth, your rejuvenation. But how does it do it? What does it do? Your rejuvenation is 30% less mana. Did you guys know? It doesn't say that, but did you guys know that? So kind of do some research on your class, figure out exactly what they do, and test them all out. Don't look at a guide and say, you know what, I think this one's a little bit better. You know, we all have different play styles, and we all can do equally the same thing, maybe just with a few different spells. It's not a cookie cutter, let's do this, this will work. So make sure you guys know exactly what these do, and don't be afraid to switch them out depending on situations of your raiding environment. If you guys are raiding this boss, that doesn't mean, well, Vortex is pretty cool, but let's go to a stun. You know, maybe you need a stun for some reason. I don't know. Typhoon. I like Typhoon because I like pushing people off things, right, when I do PvP. But maybe they need a big root for the raid. Don't always depend on your DPS to do something. If I'm standing there not healing anything and I can help my raid out, I might as well switch to this talent to help them out. So we covered two things. We covered changes, and we covered knowing your talents. Let's go over environment. The environment that you guys are in when you guys are raiding is always different. There's always different things. We need to be standing different places. Understand as a healer, if you need to make someone move, if Billy is over here on the far right side and he's way too far away from everybody, well, you tell little Billy, get over here, because I keep having to run all the way to the right just to heal you, and I can't heal these other guys. So make sure that you let your raid members know, I can't get to you. You're going to need to move up a little bit. And if they have a problem with that, that's just something that they're going to have to deal with, because they're not going to get any heals. If I'm over here and we're running a 20-man mythic, and my group is main focus over here, and you know our casters are stacked over here, and little Billy for some reason is over here, he wouldn't be raiding with you anyway if he was raiding mythic, if little Billy didn't want to know how to stack. But sometimes if I have a mushroom over here and we're all getting healed as casters, and maybe or the range and the melee's over here, and maybe we have another situation healing them, and little Billy is over here, that's a lot to sit there and focus on, because he's getting a lot less heals. Every heal matters. That's the biggest thing when you guys are raiding. Every heal matters. I'm not gonna spam everything to just, you know, it's always fun cheating the meters, but let's say I have a Tranquility. Tranquility does not heal X amount of targets. It heals everybody within 40 yards now. A great cooldown, a great change. But if someone's way over here 40 yards away, or 45 or 42, they're not going to be getting healed. So it's very important that you guys situate everybody in the raid and understand your raid environment to know what's going on. Don't line of sight me. Make it easier on the healers always. But sometimes you got to move. Little Billy will stand and fire. Communication. Now, it might sound, well, yeah, you need communication. Communication is the biggest thing when you guys are raiding, especially with your healers. Because I don't want to pop a Tranquility if my other healer is popping a big cooldown. We have to be able to mix our cooldowns to make sure the raid lives. If we both pop our cooldowns at the same time, because one cooldown should be sufficient to be able to keep the entire raid up. If we both pop our cooldowns at the same time, when we need the next cooldown, we're not going to have any, the raid dies, it's not going to be good for us. So make sure that you guys are communicating with your healers and your tanks. If the tank is, ask the tank, hey, are you doing okay? Do you have any cooldowns? Whatever the case is, because if he doesn't have anything, and all of a sudden this next phase he's going to be getting hit super hard, well, I'm going to need to pop a little bit more heals on him. Maybe I need to Genesis him a little bit more. Maybe I need to Iron Bark him a little bit more. Whatever the case is, communication with your healers, tanks, even DPS. If if there's another phase coming up and you don't have any heals, maybe you don't have your rejuvenation spread or whatever, let the raid know, hey, pop your cooldowns, I'm low on mana. So they can pop their defensive cooldowns to help you get through the situation. That's always a really important thing, is communication. And the last thing, but one of the most important things, is having fun. Pretty generic, right? Having fun. The more stressed out you are when you're trying to heal an instance or a raid or a battleground or twos or threes or fives, the more stressed out you are, the more mistakes that you're gonna make. Understand, the worst thing that can happen is your group dies. You might get kicked from the raid, you might get whatever, but you're gonna make mistakes. Just keep trying, have some fun, learn. If there's a raid, go to the raid. If your guild is holding this raid and one of their healers popped out and this is your opportunity to go in there, don't be nervous. We've all been there. But just go in there and do your best. Try not to make any mistakes. And the biggest thing is play the fight out. Do the fight. Don't die from something stupid like standing in fire or doing anything like that. Because your raid leader will look at that and he'll know, okay, well, this guy can't even do the regular, the basic stuff that the fight calls for. How is he going to keep us up? How is he going to keep us healed? So always keep your heals going, but do the fight right. It's always important to do the fight right, because if you can't do the mechanics of the fight, there's no way you're going to be able to heal. You can be the best healer in the world, but if you can't do those mechanics of the fight, you're eventually going to die. More heals are going to be needed on you. It's always a bad thing. So have fun, stay calm, do what you need to do. Hopefully this guide helped you guys out. It was a pretty basic guide, but there's a few important tips that you guys need to understand if you guys are trying to get into raiding. You gotta speak up. Have a mic. Having a mic when you guys are raiding is crucial, because if you can't communicate, like we had one of the tips, communication, you're gonna be behind. You know, you can't be typing to the tank in mid fight. Are you okay? Do you have any cooldowns? Did you pop this? You can't do that. You have to be able to communicate. So, alright guys, make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, do whatever you guys need to do. Good luck in Warlords of Draenei. Hopefully you guys can use some of these tips to be a better healer. I'm sure that you guys were probably a decent healer to begin with, but maybe something I said helped you guys out just a little bit more. That's the goal of the video, is to help one or two people out of the 100 views it gets. If I can help one or two people, you know, that's amazing. So, I'll talk to you guys later, and make sure you guys smash that like button.